Castle law in Canada, the myth and the reality. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith got a rousing round of applause, a standing ovation, in fact, when she stood before the United Conservative Party over the weekend and talked about, no, not the memorandum of understanding with Mark Carney about a new pipeline and oil production and all of that. No, she was talking about gun laws in Canada. First off, she said that Alberta will not follow through and help with the gun confiscation program, the so-called buyback program. They're not going to do it. Their police don't have the time and resources, and she is instructing them, don't take part, which is fine. That is legal. That is what the province is allowed to do. It's what municipalities are allowed to do. You can instruct your police on what is actually a priority, and this is not a priority for them. But she also got a rousing round of applause and a standing ovation when she said that going forward, people aren't going to be prosecuted for defending themselves and their homes.
Now, the Sovereignty Act motion will also make it clear that these agencies will not enforce or prosecute Albertans defending their homes and families from intruders. I got a little tip for low-life criminals out there. If you don't want to get shot, don't break into someone's house. It's really that simple, isn't it? It really is. We want our great men and women in law enforcement and our justice system to spend their precious time and effort going after criminals, not farmers, not ranchers or sport shooters, nor Albertans defending their families and their homes. Imagine that.
Now, this has reignited a debate about castle law in Canada, the idea that you can defend your own home. And we've had people calling for months that have said, we need to bring in castle law in Canada. Let me state once again, no, we don't. It already exists. And the idea that defending your home or your property is somehow un-Canadian, that it's American, that's not exactly true. In fact, it's completely false. Canadian law has long allowed for self-defense of home and property. Now, back in 2012, 2013, the Harper government tried to clarify this with what had originally started out being known as the Lucky Moose Bill. This is something that was supported by all parties in Parliament, codifying how you can defend yourself. But guess what? It existed before that, existed in the common law. It is an ancient right to be able to defend yourself. And as Solomon Friedman, criminal defense lawyer, pointed out in a podcast episode on Full Comment a while back, well, it's also protected under Section 7 of the Charter, the right to life, liberty, and security of the person. It's a charter right to defend yourself. So why then do people keep getting prosecuted? I mean, this has happened in Alberta. It's part of why Danielle Smith has brought it up. Happened back in the summer in Peterborough in a case where a guy breaks into someone's home armed with a crossbow, and then the home owner, the resident, is actually charged for defending himself, stabbing the person that shows up with a crossbow to shoot them. Well, how does that happen? Solomon Friedman laid it out. He said, we don't need any more laws. We have too many laws on this. What we need is a change in policy as is given to Crown prosecutors and police services across the country.
The law is not the problem. Policy is the problem. Parliament does not have to pass any laws. What has to happen are the provinces, who are responsible for the charging decisions of police. They need to amend the policy handbooks of the police services and of their Crown attorneys' offices. Because every province, and in the jurisdictions where it's federal prosecutors, like the territories, they have desk books, policy manuals for prosecutors, and it has their policies on every type of offense, from domestic violence to sexual assault to major crime to homicide. The policy needs to change. And guess what? The policy never.
There you have it. One simple solution. And that solution, that is what Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is talking about. Now, will Doug Ford do this? He's called for castle law. Ontario could easily do this by just having the cabinet send out new policy books to the Crowns and the police. That needs to happen. We could have this happen in every single jurisdiction across the country. Or, as Friedman also pointed out, we could have it like it is in Quebec and British Columbia, where on charges like this, the Crown has to sign off. The police can't just lay charges and say, well, we're charging you for assault because you beat back someone that was trying to kill you or your family or invade your home. That's the way it is in Ontario and several other provinces. But in BC and Quebec, the Crowns have to look at it, and they will often look and say, no, this is a case for self-defense. We're not going forward. Bottom line, as Friedman said, we need policy changes, not law changes. And what Danielle Smith is proposing isn't a law change, it's a policy change, and a welcome one at that. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.